How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Firstly, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that watched and liked my previous video, the Q&A. It's doing really well for my channel anyway. So I appreciate everyone for checking that out, watching it, liking it, etc, etc. It does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy the content I put out. Second of all, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to say I'm gonna have the hood up for this video because my trim is absolutely shocking right now and I do not want anyone to see it, so we're gonna be hiding it in today's video, but that's fine. You know, we look cold anyway. Today's video is going to be a breakdown of a trade that I caught last week. I've done a more in-depth, proper breakdown over on my Telegram. So if you want to go and watch that, feel free to go and check out my Telegram. It will be in the description. But I thought I still want to, you know, tell people for free and help people as much as possible. So I'm going to be doing a breakdown on the trade that I caught last week. It was a 3% trade, as you know, on GU, and we're going to be breaking it down today as to how I took it, and just to prove, obviously, you know, I'm all about being legit. So just to prove that I did take this trade, we're going to put the entry there so you can see it, as well as maybe a screenshot there from my Telegram so you can see that I did actually call the trade, etc, etc. But without further ado, we're going to get into the video, so hopefully you guys enjoy this, and yeah, let's do it. Okay, so as you can see, we're on the charts now. I've got it to the left of me, so I'm going to be running through today how we caught this trade here. As you can see, 3%, and I've shown you the screenshot to prove that obviously I took it. You know, I'm not going to lie to you, that is just scammy, I guess. How do we catch this trade? Why were we buying in a clear downtrend? Well, I'm going to be explaining all of this to you right now. So let's get into it. So firstly, what we need to look for and what we always need to identify is the trend, right? So as you can see, we have been trending downwards, you know, quite clearly. We've been in a downtrend, and I did mark this on here. As you can see, if I zoom in a bit, you can see that we did break this low with this push down here. So why did I buy? Great question. I'm glad you asked that. So as you can see, we had this NFP imbalance here, huge imbalance, and I had a feeling that we were going to fill some of it and not all of it, but I felt we'd fill about to here. So I marked that area on, and as you can see, price continued its bearish structure, breaking the lows and dropped into this zone, and then we had a push off. So now we are following bearish structure still. Even at this point here, this is still following bearish structure. You know, this was just a retracement to go lower. That's perfectly fine, you know, following the structure, everything's good. However, what happened was, if we look at it from a different angle, price pushed up, came down, and created a lower high. Looking at this in an uptrend sort of style. So price came down, created a lower high. And where did we wick exactly into? We wicked exactly into this zone here, the zone I marked. So we've retested and we've closed above twice. That's a pretty good good looking thing. We then had price break up and break this high, but we also broke this high. Now this is a really important high. I'm not going to explain why this is an important high to me, but this was the high, as you can see in the Telegram group, that I said needed to break for us to buy. For certain reasons. As I said, market structure is sort of my edge, you know, if you want to call it that. So when this high broke, I knew we wanted to start looking for buys. Now there are loads of places you could have bought. You could have done a, you know, a break and retest of this zone. You could have done a break and retest of this zone. You could have entered on the order block here. Like, there's loads of different ways that you could have got in. I used my little secret thing that I have with market structure that seems to work quite well with reversals, which is what I used. And as you can see, we got a very clean entry, very minimal drawdown, 10 pip stop. As always, you know me, like to use 10 pips, and we were just targeting just over 3%, which is what we did. And as you can see, price comes into my TP and then starts to reverse a little bit, which was very nice to see. Trade didn't take that long. This was, well, about half an hour worth of being in the trade. I wasn't watching it, obviously. You know, I always say I never watch trades. So yeah, that was kind of how we took that trade here. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, as you can see, I actually entered at 330. Now, if you've watched this channel for a while, you'll know that I normally like to enter in London. Now, I've been trying something out recently involving New York, and this was trying it out, and it seemed to have worked pretty well. So, you know, we're going to look to try and implement this a bit more after a bit more back testing and really seeing its success rate. But I like how it's working, and it just means that I can cut out gold, because as a lot of you know, I'm not a big fan of gold anymore. So it means I can trade London. It means I can trade GU in London and New York, which would be quite useful. But yeah, it was a nice little 3% at the middle of last week on the Wednesday, which is a day I trade. And yeah, and then other than that, we didn't really have anything for the rest of the week. You know, this price action here, you know, you probably could have got an entry there, but I was kind of happy being up 3% for the week. And then coming into Friday, it was just pretty miserable. What I've marked up here, I'll just briefly explain. It was similar to the trade that I was actually looking for, or my previous trade that won. It was a case of, we came into this zone, quite an important zone really, and as you can see, it wicked perfectly. I had this marked before price came to it. I kind of knew we'd get some reaction there. Pulled up, broke below, and then we started pulling back up. Now, I was actually looking again for this high to break and close above. If price did that, we were actually going to be looking at buys again, and we were going to be targeting, where was my target? I believe I had this area targeted, which I still believe will be hit at the start of next week. So there's a little free direction thing for you if we break this high. Again, this high here was a significant one to me. Not going to say why, but it was an important high to me, which is why I was looking for it to do a similar thing. And as you can see, it was going to be in New York as well. So there's a little hint as to what I'm actually looking for in New York and what I'm trying to, you know, trade like. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just a nice breakdown to show you some of the trades. I'm going to be trying to record this live sometime, so I can do maybe a live trade or something. I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that was the breakdown. Fairly simple trade. You know me, simplicity is key. Don't like to overcomplicate it. And hopefully you learned something from this video that you can maybe implement into your new or into your strategy. And if you have any sort of questions or things you want me to do a video on, I'd be more than happy to do it. I'm kind of thinking of making like a free course, not course per se, but just like videos on how I use certain things. So if you'd like to see those, make sure to hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. And as I said, thank you so much for the support on the previous video. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next one.